our next fighters for the Grapple Fight League. Introducing first from the blue corner, fighting out of Westside MMA in Little Rock, Arkansas. He stands in at 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighed in at a whopping 304 pounds. He has a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins and no losses. He is a wrestler and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. Please welcome David Grayson.
Expect a lot out of David Grayson. He trains at Westside MMA in Little Rock under Rolly Delgado. He's a 20-time NAGA champion, 2-time IBJJF international champion, no-gi world champion.
From the red corner, fighting out of Dark Horse MMA in Dexter, Missouri. He stands in at 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighed in at 271 pounds. His fighting style listed as kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter. Please welcome Josh the Hulk Faries!
Shane, if you ever wanted to see 2 ginormous individuals in a cage, you're going to see it right now. 304 pounds for David and 200.
Grayson's also a 2-time All-American. Shows that his jiu-jitsu record is 86-5. I'm assuming that's via tournaments. Josh the Hulk Faries, no slouch. The current show fight heavyweight champion.
You're talking about 580 pounds in the cage right now, Shane. Large individuals.
See what kind of pace these guys going in set. It's like Grayson's just kind of feeling Faries out. Nice little trip.
Nice trip, beautiful. A bit of hand fighting. Nice trip.
Same trip.
David definitely has some nice trips and tricks up his sleeve. This might come down to someone with a lot of tricks versus somebody with a lot of power.
You were only able to say that because he is wearing sleeves.
Both guys extremely game. This might be a very close match. He definitely attacks that leg. Grayson wants to keep it in the middle of the cage.
Grayson may be expecting Faries to wear down if they go out of round 1. Typically, anybody that comes out of Westside MMA, whether they're a grappler or a fighter, is going to have great cardio. And here's a single leg. And he's going to let him up.
You know, Shane, it almost looks like David is maybe letting him up and letting him, like you talked about earlier, letting himself wear himself down. He's not following up with a lot of that.
Absolutely, and it wouldn't be a bad game plan. Faries has worn down in a couple fights, and he may have found some footage of him. Really working that trip.
Shane with a record like Grayson has. Training with Riley Delgado, you would think that he would be pretty well versed and pretty technical.
There's a nice little shuck there from Grayson. It's those little minute things that tell you a lot about people. You can definitely see that he's wrestled. Looks like Faries is starting to get irritated here.
He's gonna watch that. Wow.
And we were out of round 1.
Good round for David.
Grayson absolutely won that round in my mind. It does look as though he may be just trying to wear Hulk down a little bit so his strength isn't a factor.
You just don't see it very often when a guy attempts trips and takedowns and doesn't follow up. It seems like he might have a game plan, and I couldn't see another game plan besides that he would have.
We're definitely starting to see Faries get irritated there towards the end of the round. That shot that he took was a little sloppy, and it looked like he took it more out of irritation than wanting the takedown. We'll see if Grayson comes out this round and gets a takedown and does not let Faries up.
Grayson's corners instructed him to do the same game plan this round as the last round, so we'll see if Josh can change his game plan a bit.
Grayson was looking for that same shuck and trip.
No, I gotta say, Shane, Grayson's cardio seems to be holding up. For a large man, I mean, you're talking about over 300 pounds plus. For a guy of that size to have cardio, he doesn't seem to be breathing hard.
Attempted single there by Grayson. And possible head and arm attempt here.
See, he just doesn't follow it up, Shane. That's
well, if they're looking at working into the third round, you know, great game plan because Faries is obviously a big, strong guy, and the more he makes him work in the first and second round, the weaker he's going to be in the third round. And
right. Josh needs a takedown right now.
Absolutely.
Desperately needs a takedown because he clearly lost the first round.
Use his shoe. When he goes, go.
And once again, Grayson pushes him off. Leaves him on his feet.
Shane, I do have to say, it looks like Grayson really is comfortable grappling. You know, if I had to pick from outside looking in who has the most jiu-jitsu matches, it'd definitely be Grayson, whether I knew the records or not.
Grayson looking for that trip again and then going back to the single. Faries needs to wait for that right arm shuck of Grayson and drop to the left leg and try to hit a single off of it. He doesn't really have an answer for that shuck. He's been using it over and over and over, switching back and forth between the trip and the single leg, and we are going to the third round. Nice knee by Grayson.
A little bit of dirty boxing at the end, Shane. That's a hard round to score. when not a lot of action happens, but the guys are definitely tiring each other out, putting a lot of weight on each other.
Definitely. Let's see if Grayson comes out this round and really puts it to him. Faries is definitely breathing heavier than Grayson. Grayson looks calm and relaxed. Breathing a little bit, but he looks ready to go.
Ryder, you ready? Ryder, you ready? Let's fight! Go fast, Josh. Hang hips, hang hips. Down your back, Josh. Move it. Work the movement. There you go. There's your roll right here. Get back over. There goes. Hey, Josh.
You know, it was interesting there. Josh Faries dropped to his back to try to bring the fight to the ground, and Grayson did not follow. Seems as though Grayson doesn't want to go to the ground. He seems like he's just complacent and happy with a little bit of dirty boxing and walking back out to the middle of the ring.
Josh definitely came out a little bit more aggressive on that stance.
Grayson definitely isn't looking for the finish.
And Shane, that also goes to judges. How do you score when someone trips somebody and then walks away? How do you score that? Sometimes it might come down to aggression, and Josh definitely is.
Nice little single, and he backs up again.
How do you score that, Shane? How do you score that with a guy not?
Get him, Josh. Follow him.
With the guy not being the aggressor whenever he is standing right over him.
Come on, push, Josh. You gotta make it happen this way.
A lot of pummeling, tripping, single legs. Not much grappling here, Mike.
The guys are definitely showing wear and tear the first couple rounds, Shane. They're both starting to breathe hard. But Josh definitely, he has to have a takedown.
And Grayson finally follows him.
I think Josh got to the point where if he wanted to grapple, that's what he has to do.
He's just going to pounding on the rib cage. Faries with half guard on bottom. Let's see if Grayson looks to pass.
Half guard attempt for a pass. Wow, big punch by Grayson. Grayson working the ab. Grayson's making an honest attempt, it looks like, to pass the half guard of Josh. Josh has to get a move on. He's got a good opportunity to pull full guard when Grayson sets up. Just can't get the energy to do that, and I think the round's going to end with Grayson on top.
And Grayson trying to do some damage at the end of round 3.
Too little, too late, Shane.
So after 2.5 rounds, we finally got to see the fighters go to the ground. Lots of trips, lots of single legs, but Grayson didn't want to commit to the ground once he got Faries to the mat.
Shane, I think you were right on the game plan early. I think the game plan was to get him tired, but I'm a little bit perplexed on why it took Josh pulling guard to get Grayson on top.
You know, this was kind of started with the hopes that people would want to get the fight going and not take it to the judges. You know, this is an opportunity for people to go in, work their submissions, and also strike a little bit. We didn't see much of that. This was more of a game. Not taking anything away from Grayson. He controlled the match. Completely controlled it.
Skill, Shane.
I would have liked to have seen more actual grappling in the fight, though. Nonetheless, I'm sure Grayson gets the W on
Ladies
this.
and gentlemen, we have another unanimous decision. Your winner, David Grayson!
Mr. Will Levine joining me.
Pretty good so far.
What'd you think of that match, Will?
Man, I'm telling you what, he looked like he was going to get out strength, and he had some serious control.
Well, me and Michael were talking, and it kind of seemed like Grayson was looking to just wear Faries down a little bit before he went in for the kill, but he never went in for the kill.
That was the best strategy I could think of, because he definitely did that, and in the third round he just completely took over, but I was waiting to see a good submission by him, just never came.
Was it 4-time IBJJF?
Two-time no-gi IBJFF world champion, 20-time Naga champion.
20-time Naga champion. Your record in jiu-jitsu is 80-4 or something crazy?
85-6.
Wow, impressive.
Still impressive.
Now, I was very impressed with the way that you conserved your energy. When you were going to do something, you did it, but you didn't waste any of your energy. Was that just because you've been around the block and you knew it was going to last a while and you wanted to just save your energy?
No, I knew he had the strength on me, obviously. You know, I'm not I'm a big heavyweight, but I'm not a very stout heavyweight. And, you know, and people underestimate me all the time. But, you know, so my game was to keep it in the center and explode when I saw the opportunities. With the sweeps, obviously we knew his only game plan was to either get it to the ground or get it up against the fence, which I didn't want him up against the fence. And, I mean, I wanted to work a little ground game, but first, you know, we wanted to test his cardio a little bit. You know, I've been working hard, and, I think all the action's from the feet. You know, that's why I waited to the end to play on the ground a little bit, because, you know, I think I like to see action from the feet.
Yeah, well, I think the crowd liked that. Do you guys like to stay in stand most of the time? And, you know, you said you didn't like the cage, but, boy, you didn't want to go there, but you used it very wisely. You would go there, you would explode, and you'd get out of there. It was very impressive. Obviously, you had a game plan. You followed it to a T. Great things are going to come out of you, man, in this league. We're very excited. This thing's built for you, isn't it?
Oh, yes. We are already talking. Hopefully, I impressed JT enough for a title shot. I think I'd be a great champion if I was able to win it. And, and every fight I come out here, it's not going to be an easy win. You're going to have to train hard. You're going to have to out-wrestle me. You're going to have to do out-jiu-jitsu me. And I also have a black belt in judo. I don't know if I put that in there. So
I could have guessed.
So, I mean, if you give me the throws, I'll take the throws, and I'm a big guy, but I only eat one piece of the pie at a time. I don't go for the whole pie at once.
Right on, man. Well, the bad news is the secret's out of the bag. No one's going to underestimate you after that performance, man. So if anyone saw this, you got to be on your A game, because they know what you can bring. So anyway, you did awesome. Congratulations. Big round of applause, David Grayson.